Happy Easter, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Easter Sunday. And what better day to talk about the Lord and also Inter Miami. So how's everybody doing? And so we got a lot to talk about, a lot of fun things to talk about besides my dumb joke. And of course, I'm not the only one that's going to tell dumb jokes. Uncle Ed tells them with me. Ed, how you doing?
Happy Easter, Peter Brown. I think I'm a little out. There we go. How's it going, man? Happy Easter to everybody. So here we are. I mean, my wife was telling me, "Are you guys going to do the show?" I was like, "Why?" She says, "It's Easter. Who's going to watch on Easter?" We're here.
Well, we're here, rain or shine. Whoever joins in, and if not, they can watch it on Monday, and that's where a lot of people do it anyway. So it's fine. It's fine. But hopefully, you had a great Easter with your family, Ed. I did as well. It's a little bit different for me nowadays, and I mean, you get to enjoy Easter with still having little kids around because you have your grandkids. For me, it's a little different because my daughter is now a full-blown adult. So it's not that little kid stuff anymore. So it's a little bit different. No Easter egg hunts and all that kind of fun stuff you had, when they're younger. But still had a great time. I was telling you before. I figured I'd tell everybody else. I know where Ryan Saylor goes to church.
Wow, where is that, Peter Brown?
He goes to the same church I go to. So yeah, I walked past Ryan Saylor, and I did as he was coming out of the church and I was going in, so different service times, and I did a double take. I did a double take, like, hey, that's Ryan Saylor. But it was like I wasn't going to chase after him in a church, going, hey, Mr. Saylor, can I have a picture? Yeah, I wasn't going to do that, but it was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, and it makes complete sense because the church I go to is the closest church to the training facility and stadium, which, it's like right on Cypress Creek. You could see the stadium from the church parking lot, so it's like, it makes sense for somebody that maybe lives somewhere close to where you go to work, right? We all like to live close to where we go to work. So, it was interesting. It was kind of cool, though. It was kind of cool to say, hey, look, Ryan Saylor. But, but the fact that Ryan Saylor was there, guess that tells you where he wasn't, and that's on a plane to Vancouver, right? Or anything, or coming back from, I don't know what time. I wonder if did he make the trip to Columbus, because I don't know what time they get back and all that. It made me think, oh, he's probably not traveling with the team. So, anyways,
right. I didn't see the list. I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't see the list.
Yeah, I don't remember if he was on the list of players. It made me wonder if he was traveling or not. So interesting. But anyways, before we get too far, I see one person chatting in the chat room. So if anybody wants to get busy in the chat room, say hi, help direct the show. Otherwise, it'll be a church talk all day. So you want to save the show from church talk? Then who did Peter run into church? I also through church got to know Zinho years ago. World Cup winner. Yeah. Anyways, long story. But before we continue church talk, let's say thank you to our sponsors, and then start off with there it goes. Caneswear. Caneswear is where you go to get all your Inter Miami gear, best deals in town. And actually, they just finished today a really nice sale. The shirt I was wearing last week, this polo shirt, I saw it was like $15 less this weekend. So they had a really nice sale going on this weekend. So if you're not following us or them on, like, say, Twitter or Instagram, you should be. So go make sure you're following them, because you can find out when they're having these great sales. And like I did that video calling it bargain messy shirts, or bargain messy, whatever I called it, because they do have good bargains in that store. So they're located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. If that's too far for you to go to caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. And on the website, use, what is it, FMTV 10, Ed?
Yes, sir, FMTV 10.
All right, so use that and on the website. And?
Yeah. Peter Brown, if you want to invest in South Florida or sell your property or business, you can do it through Mia Rodrigues, the GOAT of all realtors in South Florida. You guys can WhatsApp her. She speaks 3 languages. There's no way you can go wrong with Mia Rodrigues. And as always, she's famous. She comes out on TV. You too could be on TV with her, so go check her out. MiaRodrigues.com, I believe. Realtor.com. There you go. Let's go check her out. Mia Rodrigues. There she goes. And that's the American Dream. That's her show. So, yeah, you can be famous. Contact her and sell your property, and you'll come out. Hopefully. And make some money.
All right. Well, let me put the ticker back up. It may be a slow night for the chat room, so we'll do the show for those of you that are watching later. But the one person I see active in the chat, he's talking to himself, and that's our buddy Esteban Dito.
There he is, right there.
There he is. And he says, as far as church, he goes, that's nothing. Messi goes to the church I go to. I wonder, does Messi go to church? Because, you know, some people think of Messi as the person you go to praise. The church of Messi.
Like Maradona had a church.
I know. When you see when you follow some of the you know, when you see some of the comments from the Messi fans, and look, we're Messi fans, but Ed and I both are Inter Miami fans first and foremost. But but when you see some of these Messi fans, I mean, they definitely worship him as if like he has his own religion, which is interesting, I'd say. But you know, it is what it is. Also, if you want to join the call, where is it? Let me just maybe this one. Yep. Call 786-474-4435. You want to leave a voicemail, you could do that. But yeah, expected tonight to be a little bit slow, it being Easter and all that. But Ed, Inter Miami, so they went to Columbus. They played against arguably the best team in the league, maybe?
Well, Peter, it wasn't even in Columbus. They went
I know. How I'm curious in how the fans feel. 2-hour drive away. It's like, don't they in Columbus, don't they have any big colleges that they could use their stadium?
I'm not sure, Peter, but I guess
I don't know where Ohio State's a big college. I don't know where they're located, but Ohio State's a big college.
Yeah, and that's a huge stadium too. I think it's one of the biggest ones in the country. But I guess I don't know if this was closer or maybe they wanted to capture the Cleveland fans.
Outreach, maybe.
2 hours away, you know, that's like, you know, it's like going to West Palm or something from where I live. So
I was thinking it's like going. It for me. It's only a little bit. It's only 30 minutes further than say going to Orlando. So I could get to Orlando in 2.5 hours. So it's like, which when you say going to Orlando, that feels farther away, right? Doesn't it? It feels like it doesn't feel like it would be the same fan base. Now, clearly, because they have their own MLS team. That's part of the reason. But
right.
While watching that, I kept thinking, man, 2 hours away. You know, I understand the outreach, but 2 hours away as if you're season ticket holder, you know, you're like, you know, I don't want to drive 2 hours. Esteban is saying that Crew fans were pissed off. The Buckeye Stadium was too narrow field since it's only good for gridiron rugby. So the Buckeye Stadium would have been a little bit too narrow. Oh yeah, here Yasiya, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Says the field is too narrow as well. So I guess the NFL stadium that they went to, Cleveland Browns, just a better situation, I guess, stadium wise. But man, you know, it's a bit of a hike. I mean, in some ways, it's good that you know you're expanding your brand, but
well, I mean, it kind of like I said. I mean, 60,000 fans. It's a pretty good.
They expanded.
They made some money.
Yeah, they made. Well, it's funny you say that because I heard some people online debating that they don't make. Now, I don't buy this exactly, but there was an argument that they don't make as much money as you think because having to rent this bigger stadium means more people they have to hire, all that kind of stuff. but still, they
Against
went
that
from what, a
shit.
20,000 seat stadium to filling 60,000. The expense, they had to have pocketed a boatload of money. I'm curious if there is anything online, like how much. I probably isn't, but how much profit a team like that? Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be that team in particular, but what like when other cities have done the same thing, what kind of profit are they seeing in
Right.
that
And the
situation? But
exposure too. I mean,
exposure,
it's a brand new city. 60,000 people. A good portion of that is native Clevelanders. So it makes sense. They did their reach out, and a lot of these people might get hooked with soccer, and they might
yeah.
need make a trip down to Columbus. So I think it works out. I think it's a good thing.
And I would say the crew themselves had a pretty good representation in that stadium, because sometimes we see these games in these big stadiums and it's a home game for Inter Miami. Now there were quite a few pink shirts and there was quite a few cheers every time Messi touched the ball,
Yeah.
but I thought it was pretty respectable that there was a lot of yellow shirts in that crowd. It looked the way it should, right? It should be a
Right.
pro crew group, but we all know that a good chunk of those people are only there to see one person. We all know that. So, um,
Oh, look, Waisea is saying the owner owns both the Browns and the
yes.
Crew. So yeah, it kind of makes
Yeah, that does
sense.
make more sense. I forgot about that. Yeah, the ownership, yeah, they bought them a couple years ago. They saved the crew, that ownership group. They saved the crew, because there was that whole saving the crew thing. But so what did you think that in that game, Ed? I was watching. So I wrote this little thing saying we eked out a win because they had so many chances. We should have lost that game. We should have lost
Yeah.
that game.
Ustari dude was on fire. He deserved the man of the match. I mean, he was just all over the place. No wonder Calendar can't be a starter because this guy's not. He's just on top of things. He's older than Messi, but he's still. I mean, goalkeepers are so.
The goalkeepers can last longer.
Yeah, so he's still good. I mean, I think he's still got a couple years more to go, and he's doing well, man. I mean, he's cheap for Inter Miami too. I mean, because Ustari wanted to play with Messi. Who doesn't want to play with Messi? So, um, in that sense, yes. Did Columbus play better? Yes, they did. Did they dominate? Yes, they did. Kind of Inter Miami let them take the ball. What it looked like. Also, Columbus, they basically nulled out Messi, man, because he
Mm-hmm.
only got plays in and he wasn't able to score, and that's what they want. But also, what's his name? Suarez is on a slump, like you said in your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, even more than that, I thought the team looked overall. They looked tired, and this, I think, they had the longest break they've had in a while. They had like a week off, more or less, between games. I think, but they did look kind of tired. You know who looked really tired? I thought in that game was Allende, but he worked hard. He worked really, really hard in that game. Allende was up and down, up and down, up and down. One of the most dangerous players we had on the field, but in the second half, he looked really tired. But yeah, Suarez. I'd say he's in a slump. I mean, you got to look. Just looking at the statistics, he has. I don't. What has he scored? Like one goal from the runner play, or no goals from runner play? I forgot what that statistic was. But
I
he's
think he's got
definitely
a couple.
not. Yeah, they were even talking about it on the broadcast that we're just not. We're not scoring as many goals as we did last year. And then last year, remember, we had to constantly come from behind, but we're just not
Yeah,
scoring. We're better defensively, which is good. Although that
we're just
was
scoring.
questionable it was questionable on the game, but because like I said, there were some blunders back there that we just got some luck. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Suarez, he's not, and he was pissed to get pulled out of the game.
you
Why aren't
saw
they?
that. Yeah,
Why aren't they giving, like, okay? So Wednesday we got Vancouver, and that's why I titled this "It's a busy week" or whatever I called it, no rest, because it's gonna be really busy for the next like 2 weeks. But they're clearly gonna play Suarez on Wednesday against Vancouver. But I really want to see what Obando has to offer, if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
If they brought him in my opinion, I think the way I thought is they're kind of bringing him in as that Companum replacement, the off the bench guy to replace Suarez. But you know who's getting more of that? Well, in this last game, it was Messi. Messi replaced Suarez. But I'll tell you, Ed, I've been playing a lot of, I'll call it what you know it as. I've been playing a lot of FIFA lately. And FIFA 25, it's actually called FC 25 now. But I'm playing in the manager role. And you know who I have appointed as my Suarez replacement, and seems to be maybe Inter Miami feels similar because he just gets on the field more, is Fafa. Fafa's my Suarez replacement, at least in the video game.
Right. Nice. That's pretty cool. Fafa, he got in for a couple of minutes too, but yeah, it's just it really wasn't a clear game. I mean, I was happy we got the 3 points. I mean, only unbeaten team in Major League Soccer at this
Yeah.
point, but it did feel like we were we got lucky.
Like Quasar said, Miami's so lucky. Crew had 3.1 xG. It's like 4 to 5 goals in normal game.
Expected goals, yeah. I think they were projected the way they did. They out dominated us. They held onto the ball more. They had more shots. We just got lucky, man. That's what it comes down to.
And Quasar follows up by saying nobody was in the attack. We play like 1-3-6. I will say, like, they tried the attack. I mean, they were stretching the field with Allende. I think that was their go-to move for the first half, at least. But I do appreciate what Mascherano did in the second half. And it's like he was total park the bus. I mean, he's like, I'm putting all the defenders in this one game. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind that, because at that point of the game, the attack's not working. Let's just park that damn bus and get, and Messi's not going to defend. And I saw one probably Messi maniac out there complaining that Messi had to defend too much and he's tired of defending. Messi doesn't defend. Very rarely.
Yeah, not much. He went back a little bit, but he didn't do that much.
Not much.
Maybe
not much.
He wanted to recuperate the ball, but yeah, the thing is, I like that Mascherano does the changes on time. We were so used to Tata not doing that, and it was very frustrating. Now he parked the bus. Fine, he knows how to do it, because that was his. He was a defender for most of his career, so
right.
So he knows what he's doing. I mean, he remembers it, and he parked the bus, and thank goodness for him, that he did that.
I honestly did not mind that at all.
We got the 3 points because
exactly. Why say I'm sure I'm saying your name wrong, and I'm sorry. Coach feels it's important to rotate, but also to maintain rhythm and team dynamics, and also the Big Four provided special leadership from all their years to the highest level. Sure. But I think in some ways we might need a little bit more rotation. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Obando and wanting to see him in a game. I'm okay with him coming off the bench. If you want to start Suarez, and then, but when you were taking him off, bring in Obando, see what he could do. And in one of these MLS games, like, okay, let's say next week. What is it? Next Sunday, I think it's a Sunday game. They moved the FC Dallas game. I think it was originally a Saturday game, and they've moved it to Sunday. I'd have to look at the schedule. I have it up. But they that's the kind of game I think you can play around with, because I hate to say it, but there is some truth to it in that the MLS games right now don't matter. And that's one of the reasons why people complain for promotion and relegation and all that. But in some way, they don't, because we have plenty of time. If we dig ourselves in a hole, we have plenty of time to dig ourselves out. The most important thing is Champions Cup right now. And then, so why not, if that's the case, and obviously the coach may or may not agree with me, if that's the case, why not experiment in a game like FC Dallas? I understand maybe not wanting to experiment too much with Columbus, because there's a little bit of history there and stuff like that, and they're a really good team. But why not FC Dallas? FC Dallas, let's see Obando start maybe, and give Suarez a break.
Right.
Maybe Baltazar Rodrigues will be ready to play. I don't know.
He's
I love that
hurt.
name.
I think he got hurt in practice. But Obando, yeah, Mascherano came out this week saying that they're trying to ease him in, trying to get him used to playing with the team because they brought him in for a few minutes a couple games ago, and he looked really rusty. And one of the reasons why was because since they were negotiating for him when he came from Barcelona of Ecuador, they stopped playing him.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't play for like a month, I think, is what they were saying. So he came back not fit for playing, and they're trying to ease him in so he can do better. He did look rusty in that one game, so
Right.
not a
But like,
place that was an opportunity he could have scored, but he kind of like tangled himself. But the coach I think knows what he's doing.
yeah, I know. I just want to see him. I'm anxious to see him. Since And while you're talking, I think Baltazar is such a cool name. I mean, doesn't that sound like a villain name? Is there a famous
I think yeah,
movie villain with that
I
name?
think so, but Baltasar, yeah, he sounds like a I don't know. I was gonna say like a pirate or something.
So what I thought it was, and I was wrong, and I Google searched while you were talking. Not that I wasn't paying attention, but I was Google searching. I thought Baltazar was from Battlestar Galactica, the one that was the one guy that was friends with the Cylons. He's the traitor in the original,
Right.
and then also in the remake. But I was
It's
wrong. His name is Baltar.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Yeah,
I was thinking it was Baltazar because when I hear that name, I think movie villain, TV show villain, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All
The
right.
nerd in you comes out. Yes, sir.
Nick Smith, going back to the Crew game. If the Crew had scored, Miami would have played differently. So this whole narrative they should have had so many goals is pointless. Well, Nick, this show is pointless, and we love to talk about pointless things, but we have fun doing it.
Hence, we started talking about Battlestar Galactica.
Right, exactly. And that's what it's all about. Being a sports fan is a would have, should have, could have, but they won at the end of the day. I was so happy, and that's why I put our local kid Kremoski on. I have his autograph. I should have brought the pictured autograph. I've got a picture autograph of his that I got from when he was at Caneswear, but I put him as the thumbnail because just so happy that local kid who often, I don't know if you've noticed, when he's on the field with Messi and he messes up sometimes, Messi goes and he yells at him, throws his hands in the air at Kremoski. And Kremoski, I've learned, doesn't look in the direction of Messi. He knows he's going to hear it, so he doesn't even look in that direction.
Oh yeah, man. Well, it's got to be kind of cool. It's got to be kind of cool to also have somebody like him,
Sure.
show him how to do stuff. I mean, I think his playing and most of the team, all the young guys in the team, they learn from everything that Suarez does, Messi does. I mean, Busquets, Alba. I mean, there's so much these guys can just be like sponges and absorb. And I think that's just got to be fascinating. I mean, look at all these other young players that we have that that are going to benefit from this. They're going to get just that much better. Noah Allen, for example.
Oh, Noah Allen's been on fire. Yeah, Noah Allen's been on fire. Nick Smith defending his post. Yeah, I wasn't talking about you guys in particular. Just everyone else being so negative about the game, even though we won. That is true. Yeah. Okay. That is part of also having Messi on your team is all these people that don't even know the league, don't know MLS or anything about it, and this is their first time ever seeing it, and they expect Barcelona, and they're seeing some players that you know,
Or
they're
not
not of that
Barcelona.
caliber, and so they just love to complain and all that stuff. But and also just I think part of it's that, but then other thing is like, man, sports fans are tough, and it's no different than if you watched like people reacting to the Dolphins and things like that. I mean, it's like everybody complains when they win. My wife, just like if she watches the Brazil national team, I've been around Brazilians when they watch their national team, they can win, but then they still complain because they didn't win the right way. They didn't win playing what did they say? Jogo bonito.
Jogo bonita.
Yeah, they didn't win that way. So it's like everybody likes to complain, and we are in definitely a complaining time period of life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, we expect so much from our play. I mean, we've kind of gotten spoiled, Peter, because we weren't used to Inter Miami winning. The first couple of years, we sucked.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. We yeah.
now that we get the supporter shield because we're the best team in the league, and this year, we're up there as well. We only unbeaten team. We expect to win big,
Sure.
and we're not winning big, so
Yeah.
we're completely.
Anyways, just switching screens. Just to make it look more interesting. Quasar mentioning, I thought Segovia would be a creator, but Baltazar could play a little deeper, messy, and give past, so he didn't need to drop for the ball. So
Yeah.
I've never watched Baltazar play. I've never seen him play. All I could tell you is my experience coaching Baltazar Rodrigues in FIFA. And when it's time to like make my team lineup sheet, and I'll let the computer kind of help me sometimes choose, just out of curiosity sometimes. Like, let's say you see that Messi is tired, right? So that's part of the game. You could see that he's tired. Like, so I need to rotate Messi on this particular game, whatever game it is. I got to rotate him. So if I push, I think it's Y, I push a certain button, it'll suggest a player to replace him. Like, this is the best fit to replace. And the computer, take it for what it's worth, always suggests Baltazar.
Mm-hmm.
And they list him as a center attacking midfielder. So I don't know. It will be curious to see how the coach plays him. Will he be a creator? Quasar is saying he thought Segovia would be a creator, but based on my FIFA experience, I would think maybe Baltazar might be more the creator. But I mean,
I think Baltazar supposedly is.
My experience is all video game.
But hey, man, it's all good. I'm okay with that. But
it's fun because with this, I've got the new version, the FC25. With the new version, you're playing with all the current team players. Now, with this, I did accidentally let Avilés go. He wanted an early contract renewal, and I did not give it to him, so he left the club.
Oh wow!
So I lost him, but I brought back Figal. I went out and bought Figal. I thought,
nice.
Let's bring back an old Inter Miami player,
and he was good. Yeah,
right.
They just
he was just in the bad time of our existence. He was in the time period where they were constantly changing, moving players because they had to figure out what was wrong.
Right. And we had on paper we had good players, but they just weren't able to mesh well together. But not like they're doing now. All these players their level is so much better. Falcone, I love the way that he plays.
How good is Falcone?
He's really good. I'm so glad that he's there. And like I mentioned, Noah Allen's doing so well as well.
Surprisingly, because Noah Allen last year, we were complaining a little bit that, hey, he's not a center back. Why do you keep playing him as a center back? Well, we were wrong.
Yes. So, we can admit
we were wrong.
Cool. Yes, because Tata, we were just like, Tata, why do you keep doing that? Why are you doing this kid's career? And then boom, it took him a little while, but he figured it out. Now he can play two positions. and he's that much better of a player because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's one of the first. I think I heard somebody say a quote from Mascherano that Allen's the first name he puts down on the lineup sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because you don't have to put down Messi. That's a given. Because otherwise, that would be the name you're putting down. That's a given. Yeah. So you're not putting him down.
And he's only 20 years old, Peter.
I know.
He's still got a hell of a career.
I know. I know. I mean, I wonder how does somebody come in and swoop him up? I mean, I'm curious if there's any interest. We've heard that there's interest in Kromoski, but I wonder if there's any interest in someone like Allen overseas. But even if there isn't, I mean, he can have a hell of an MLS career.
He could,
but
and he's already playing for the Greek national team.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that's good.
So one of the other thoughts I had watching the game, because I thought, and don't get mad at me, Messi maniacs, but I thought Messi had kind of, seemed a little slow in that game. He seemed, dare I say tired, but I mean, I can't, it can't be. He had more rest. Could he be hurt? And then at the end of the game, I think the commentators even said, was he limping a little bit at the end? Or they were talking about how he isn't moving. I think Taylor Twellman was commenting on the fact that, and I know people don't like Taylor Twellman, but I do. I know people were saying that he was saying that, he's not even moving on the field. Like he's not doing anything up there. He's just standing, And so, we got a thumbs down for that. It's just a question. It's just a question mark. I have thumbs down person. I have concerns. That's all. I want to concern our golden goose, our golden goat. I mean, I want to, wrap him in bubble wrap, right? Make sure that he wins us a Champions Cup. We can't afford for him to get hurt. Like the thing is, the team does well when he's not playing, but in the Champions Cup, I prefer to have our best players. And so I prefer to have Messi healthy, and so I just have a slight concern. Could he be hurt? I don't know. What did you think watching it, Ed?
Well, yeah, that's one of the things I heard them say that, and I was concerned because I mean they need to just rest him. I mean, don't play him during the normal league, during MLS.
Right.
Put whatever you want in there because we want the trophy, and he's a type of player. Look what he did against LA, man. He scored 2 goals. He was a factor that changed the result. It looked bad, man, because we were losing our 2-0 or the away goal counts for a double.
Yep.
So we had to win 3-1.
Yep.
For us a chance, and we got lucky. We got Messi was the one that made that happen. So he's a type of player that could change everything. And we're going to Vancouver. We needed him more for that game than we did for the Columbus game. But I understand we were going against one of the best teams in Major League Soccer. They were unbeaten. We had to get those points, and thankfully we
prove dominance. Right. We're currently in third. We were in first place for like a minute. After that game, we moved up to first place, but then other games happened, and so then
Plus, we're one game behind from everybody. So
right, we have one game in hand. Speaking of, did you watch the 360 show at all? Were you watching it?
I sure did, Peter Brown, and I like that because they go, they basically they're scoring somewhere else. So it's basically you're watching all the goals.
Yeah,
which is awesome. I loved that.
So because I was watching that, I did see a little bit of it was the San Diego. Was it against Charlotte? I think.
Charlotte, yeah, Charlotte. Yeah. That's their place now.
And what are your thoughts when? So there was that red card, yellow card. Is it a red card? Is it yellow card? It was against our former player,
Reyes. Yeah,
Andres Reyes. So he's playing for San Diego now, and he pulls on the player, the attacking player.
They were both holding on to each other, but I think
but they were but the attacking player goes down in the box. He's gonna get called for it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. He's gonna get called for it. But I don't think I've ever seen this happen in a game where okay, they want to review. They're going to go review it. He goes to review it, and Reyes is already walking off the field. He got a red card, right? So he got a red card, straight red for this. He's walking off field, straight red and a penalty. And then the referee goes and reviews it, and then he walks over to Reyes as he's walking off the field, and he rescinds the red, but then throws up the yellow, which now is his second yellow, and then gives him the red again. And the funniest thing was the referee then goes,
yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. I had never seen anything.
Gives him the yellow, then gives him the red again. So
it's like what's like, other than it being right for statistics, what's the point? Because, and that's probably what the player is like. The player, which we didn't see when this was happening, they were just focusing on the ref. The player is probably, you know, being demonstrative about something like, well, who cares? I mean, why are we going through the taking away the red, giving me the yellow, then giving me the red back? The only reason I could think is you have to keep it correct for the statistics of it all. But that's I had never seen, and it seemed like the ref was even realizing that it's kind of silly, the fact that he had to do this, because he's like,
yeah,
sorry. It was hilarious. Hilarious. Speaking of other MLS games, I wasn't sure I was going to go down this path, but YCS says SK Skis Sporting Kansas City scored 5 away goals. That's what happens when you fire your coach. All of a sudden, you get new life.
Right. That always happens, doesn't it? We should be firing our coaches all the time. No, but we're good right now, actually. But
no, not our coach. We don't want to fire our coach. You know whose coach is looking like fireable? Is a new Weissman's coach up in Atlanta. Atlanta, what's going on in Atlanta? They're not doing so well.
Yeah, they lost again at home. Too bad.
Yeah, I mean,
no, New York, and it's a team that everybody expects to be doing a little bit better, but
a lot better.
Yeah, they're not quite doing it.
Yeah, who do they play?
I'll tell you right now, Peter Brown. There it is. They played.
I was on the wrong website. I was looking at the Inter Miami site.
Philadelphia.
Okay, yeah, in Philly, that the older brother. You know, there's 2 brothers. The youngest player in the league and the older brother there is really good. So wait a minute. Anu is saying, first off, he says it's a crapshoot with as far as Atlanta, and then he says we were playing away.
Oh yeah, they were playing away. He's right.
Okay, yeah, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse.
Yeah, still, but yeah, 3-0. Yeah, for some reason I thought they were playing, but no, yeah, you're right.
And you gotta wonder, their coach, has won an MLS Cup in what's his name, Ronnie Dyla or whatever. He won championship before. So he was brought into Atlanta, and they've got our boy Chris Henderson over there, and they spent a bunch of money to bring back some players to make that team better. And Atlanta has got, they've got 2 wins, 4 losses. Not doing so good. So I wonder, he's got to turn that thing around quick. Anu says, I know, we suck terribly. Yeah, and big things were expected from Atlanta this year. Now there's still time to turn it around, but
yeah. But
Guyver's checking in saying his 1-year-old is enjoying the show. All right.
Thanks. Well, maybe we're good with.
Hey, we're popular with the kids, right, Ed?
Exactly.
We're popular in your household.
Oh, that's for sure. My kids are always watching this stuff. So, but yeah, I was gonna say the Charlotte game. Going back to that real quick.
Yeah.
We had a couple of players that used to play for Inter Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I've been rooting for San Diego just because of that. We've got is the goalkeeper. He's doing, not as good anymore, but they're starting to lose. But
yeah, it's like Inter Miami too. That's our second division team right there in San Diego.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it's the Heron Rejects.
There you go. I didn't want to say it, but you said it. But
I mean, that's
um,
what it is. Players that
well,
couldn't cut it here, we ship them over to somehow, some way. They find their way to
well,
San Diego.
well, San Jose also has a couple of our players, if I'm not mistaken. They were the ones that lost against at home. They lost 3-5. What a hell of a game that must have been.
Yeah, when San Jose, you've got Bruce Arena over there, so you figure he'll turn that around. Yeah, they've got our former goal scorer. Um,
Martinez
yes, Joseph Martinez is there.
scored
I don't know who
a
else
goal.
is there, but I
Yeah,
know Martinez is
a
there.
goal. Yeah, let me look that up real
Hey,
quick. Just to,
speaking of other MLS games, Campana scored.
he did, man. It's that's good for him. I wish we still had him because I think he would have been able to take over for Suarez quite a bit. He could have rested him up. He's I think a quality player, but man, yeah, I'm a little I'm not sure about Obando yet. I think he still has a little bit to go, but I sure would have
I
wanted
want
to
to
keep.
see though. I mean, let's see. Throw him, bring him in the second half at least. Bring him in as if he's not good enough to start, if he's still out of shape or what have you. Let's get him out there at least. And I mean, okay, if he's hurt, right? If it's a real injury, okay, I get it. But if it's if it's just an excuse or just a slight little nag, let's get him out there. Get him the last 15 minutes. Let's see what this kid's got. Because Suarez right now is questionable. The
Yeah,
thing with what's bugging me with Suarez too is you could say it's to some extent he's not getting the service or whatever, but last year he just seemed to find his way in that right position. He somehow just he was just there and making some tough shots, obviously from tough angles, whatever. And now he's just missing those, or he's not in the right place. He's maybe a step behind, or just
yeah.
not in the quite the right spot.
The thing about him is that he is providing assists, so that helps a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm not saying he's
But
garbage, but it's. I think it's fair to say it is a slump.
well, our forwards are not scoring as much as they did last year, so that's we're still winning, but
Yeah,
at the same time, it's we're just used to having all these goals. I mean,
and that's just it. Is like I don't want anybody to think we're really complaining about it because yeah, we're winning and winning is what matters. And at the end of the day, who cares? We won. But it just shows that we're vulnerable. We're just maybe not as strong as we had thought we were. Maybe like
right.
we could get beaten in an important game. And Wednesday night against Vancouver is going to be an important game. And what was the score of that Vancouver game? I think they lost, didn't they?
Vancouver, I'll tell you in a second. Peter Brown, they actually tied St. Louis.
Oh,
They
okay.
were at Louis. They tied 0-0. But they're still first in the West.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the St. Louis, and there was a goal that it looked like it was a goal, but then got called back, and it was not a goal for St. Louis.
And Vancouver's doing pretty well. They did lose one game. But the only undefeated team is Inter Miami. But
Mm-hmm.
if we win that extra game that we have, we would potentially have 21 points. We would be in first place. But right now, we're still missing that one game. So Vancouver's in the Supporter Shield race is
Yep.
in first place.
Vancouver's looking strong. Okay, and so thinking of Vancouver, I put in our little ticker maybe a controversial topic: calendar or Ustari in Vancouver. And the reason I brought that up, clearly everybody's going to say Ustari because he's been better this year. Or well, better. We've barely seen calendar. He's barely gotten any time. But he's basically, it reminds me of the time when back in the Miami Fusion days, I think Jeff Cassar, I think it was, went down with an injury, and Nick Raimondo came in and took his job. Like it wasn't, it's just like Nick Raimondo was the number 2 keeper, and then once Cassar was healthy again, They didn't get, Ray Hudson didn't give him the job back because Nick Romano was on fire, and it's kind of the same situation. But and watching the broadcast is what made me question it, is because Ustari did get a knock in the game and he went down for a little bit. Now I did question if that was just him giving the team a break, like because is that gamemanship? Not so much wasting time on the clock, but more so giving the players a breather, because that happens. So I was questioning, is it a knock or is he giving him a break? Could he, could he be slightly injured now again? And if he is, Campana, Calendar.
Well, that's one thing I like that you brought the analogy about Raimondo, because Raimondo.
It shows that we've been around a long time, Ed. It just shows that we've been around a long time.
But I remember that because Ray Hudson had said in an interview, and I remember this, Peter Brown. That's how old I am.
You can still remember that?
I only remember because I love soccer. And Ray said that what he loved about Raimondo was that he could place that ball. He would kick that ball and he would hit the forward or whoever was attacking. And that's something that Cassar didn't have.
Yeah.
So he was better with his feet. Raimondo was better with his feet. He was shorter.
Yeah, a lot shorter.
He was a lot shorter, but he was able to place that ball on the foot of the attacking player. That's why Cassar lost his job, because he couldn't do that.
Yeah. So back to today. Is Ustari hurt? If he's got a slight aggravation to something, do you take a chance and put Calendar in? Now we know, look, Calendar's a quality keeper. Let's not act like, oh no. I think Esteban or somebody in here called him Butterfingers earlier. Campana is a great shot stopper. It's not great with his feet. Huh?
You said Campana right now.
I do that all the time.
Calendar.
Those names are too similar for me. I do it all the time. Calendar. I mix up those names. And even Campana's not even on the team anymore, but I still got his name in my mouth. But
and your jersey.
Yeah, my jersey too. So anyways, Calendar is a really good goalkeeper. Let's not just act like he had maybe a slid backwards a little bit last year, but he didn't get called into the national camp for nothing. So it's not like a big drop off. Now, could he be a little rusty and all that kind of stuff? Who knows? So do you take a chance and put Calendar into the starting lineup in Vancouver to rest Ustari in case there's an injury? Obviously, if there's no injury, this point is mute. But do you, because the second game against Vancouver is more important than the first. Clearly, we want to win, obviously, and more than anything, we need to score at least one goal in Vancouver. We need those away point goals to win. So do we start Calendar in that game, giving Ustari a rest, or do you say, all right, whatever, we're gonna play Ustari, he's good enough, and then rest him against FC Dallas and let Calendar play in the FC Dallas game? Either way, I think these players do need. It was talked about in the chat earlier. We do need to do rotation, and so that FC Dallas game isn't as important, even though they got some quality players. They've got some. They've gotten better this year, but it's not as important. I don't know. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I think, if Ustari's not hurt, have him play. Rest him for that Dallas game, and put Campana. See, you got me doing it too. Put Calendar in there, and they should do that. Have Calendar get back into the game and with the MLS games, and Ustari could do all the more important games, because I think he provides a way out when we're counterattacking, and he's better with his feet. So I think he would be better when it comes to those Champions games, and we got other the Leagues Cup is coming up. We got the World Cup, so we probably need him for that.
And Dallas right now is sitting in 9th place, but they got Dallas got better this year. The Lucho Acosta, they got him this year, so I mean they're still trying to figure it out, but they've gotten better.
I think they'll be better. They just need to, get used to each other. Acosta, he's basically the playmaker, so the rest of the players need to adapt to his way of playing, and I think they'll do better in the second part of the year. I
Isaiah
think they
says Drake may not play well with a back four. Why do you think? Why do you think he wouldn't play well with a back four? I mean, what? I mean, he has more defenders in front of him. That's a good thing. There's more protection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would think that, but tell us in the chat why you think that. I'm not. I don't know. At the end of the day, Wednesday's a super important game. That game is so late though. This West Coast game's 10:30 at night. I mean, that's so late for me.
Wow, Peter. I mean, I'm okay with that because I'm up. I don't sleep as much as you apparently. But what time do you get up?
Sometimes 5, 6 in the morning.
Oh, well, that makes sense then. You get up really early.
Yeah. But then sometimes if I don't want to cook breakfast for my daughter, I'll get up at like 8. But that's when I'm just laying.
Wow.
I'm just laying around.
You're a really good dad because I don't do that for my daughters.
And she's
the
20.
Most I'll do,
she's 20. She can make it hers.
Yeah, mine are older. But all I have to do is I set the timer on the coffee. At least I make the coffee, so that's good. They're happy with that.
Well, she doesn't like my coffee. She's just fancy. She wants to drink her Starbucks and all that stuff. It's like it's not gourmet coffee. It's just It's just a pot of Costco coffee.
I hate the way they got they renamed the size of the Star. That's why I hate going to Starbucks because they.
Oh, you can't order
no, can't. I refuse to get into that whole Starbucks culture crap.
So you can't go there and order. You can't go there and say I want a triple non-fat venti latte.
None of that mumbo jumbo.
Fancy talk.
Nope.
Ali in the chat. I'm not going to try to say your last name. Says no. Ustari's better look at the state of clean sheets. Well, okay, you're saying state of clean sheets, but if you're really comparing it to this year, he's been the only goalkeeper. So, but I mean, unless you're looking at it compared to last year and all that stuff, I don't know. It's hard to compare to me because the defense is better this year. So you look at Calendar's goals against last year, and it might be an unfair, but again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Ustari's not been a monster back there. Like we talked about, he's got glue in his gloves or something. He has been really, really good. So I'm only saying that I have a slight concern of injury. That's it. That's all I'm really getting at.
They're saying he was talking about
chemistry.
Yeah, Calendar might not have the chemistry.
So I will say this about Calendar versus Ustari. Calendar wasn't, and this was a complaint I know a lot of our listeners or viewers had. He's not that vocal back there. He's not really talking to the players as much, bossing them around because he's the boss at the back, right?
Yeah.
Ustari's a little more vocal. I'm not saying I see him out there doing a lot of that, but a little bit more. He's a little more vocal, and at the end of the day, he speaks the same language, right? Because everybody in the back line speaks Spanish. I think even Alan does. Alan probably speaks Spanish. I don't know that for a fact, but
he's South Florida, so you would imagine at least he knows.
You think words. He might know some words at least. Growing up,
look at
soccer.
Fafa. Yeah, look at Fafa.
He speaks Spanish. Yeah.
He speaks Spanish fluent.
7 languages or something, like 5 or 6 languages. I don't know. He speaks a bunch of languages, but Noah Allen, whether he's fluent in Spanish, I don't know. But like we said, he grew up in South Florida playing in soccer. He would at least know soccer terminology. Like when I became friendly with Zinho, the World Cup winner from Brazil from that 1994 team. I think I have to give that little background because I don't know if people remember who he is. But I had asked him one time with my wife translating if he was understanding English and speaking English or whatever. And he said Futbol English is what he knew. So he knows terms. And so
that's a good thing. A news talking about his local Starbucks. My brother was the same way.
My dad loves his local Starbucks. They would give him his coffee no matter how long the line is. So yeah, I mean, you hear stories about like Starbucks, they know you, and I've never had that experience. I don't go enough. You know, I used to go more when I would leave the house to go to work, but now that I work from home, I am my own Starbucks. And
Makes sense.
I just brew a pot of coffee. I mean, I don't do anything fancy. It's just Costco coffee. But the only time I really drink Starbucks these days is um when I'm out and about. Like if I'm in the mall and I'm following my wife around and I'm tired, or I'm in Disney, right? You know. So Anu is asking, you knew Zico? No, not Zico, Zinho. See, nobody remembers Zinho. He was a midfielder on that World Cup winning team.
He was a defensive midfielder, if I was mistaken. We got to play soccer. That was awesome. I remember that.
I played soccer against him in a media, and I remember it clearly. He was hobbling around on one foot. He had a messed up ankle or a foot, and he's hobbling around, and he still went around me. Like, granted, he's a professional World Cup winner, and I'm nothing, right? But
he was a coach at that point. But Peter, he was hurt.
Yes,
I think I was at that game too, and he didn't have shorts on. He was playing in jeans, if I was not mistaken.
Yeah. He was not prepared. He was hurt. He was just showed up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna get into the." We were playing at rooftop soccer.
Yeah, and he just got in there and played. That guy was incredible. 1 foot.
Yeah, hobbling around, and so I knew Zinho, and got to know him fairly well because he went to the same church that my wife went to, a Brazilian church. And so I got to know him because I would go with my wife sometimes and sit there and not understand a word that we're saying, but I was just there supporting.
Is this the same church you're going to now, or a different one?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because, wow, you have a sailor going to the same church. I was like, what, he's Brazilian?
No, it was still, the church I'm talking about was still an American church, but they had on Sunday nights a Brazilian service. And so my wife would go to that. But, and I think the church I go to now might do stuff like that. I'm not sure they used to. I don't know. The one I go to now is Calvary Christian, Fort Lauderdale. So I'm Calvary, Fort Lauderdale. I say Calvary Christian because that's the name of the school. And my daughter went to that school. But it's a very, very large church that is very close to the stadium. So, hey, you want to go see some Inter Miami players, go praise the Lord. I know we might turn some people off on that kind of talk, but it's Easter. Come on.
No, some people might be like, hey, I want to meet a soccer player, get Messi to go. That place.
And who knows? I don't know if any other players go to that. It is a, when they, it's a mega church. So it's like, some people look at those negatively or whatever. It is, but it's a mega church. It's giant. They, there's thousands of people there. And they'll do like 4 or 5 services on a Sunday. So, you could have the entire team there and never even see them, right? Or just like I did in passing, just seeing Ryan Sailor, just in passing. But it would, if I had a chance to talk to Ryan Sailor, it would have been awkward because it's like, what do you say to him? Like, hey, I love you. You're a great player. I wish you got on the field more.
Her hair's all messed up.
Messy. Go fix that hair.
Go fix your hair. Go comb your hair and put some shoes on.
But so, anyways,
Aria was around here too. She's like, but she was too shy to say hello to you. Peter's got, my grandkids are Peter's fan. They love Peter Brown. They're always like, "Oh, are you talking to Peter Brown?"
Yeah,
it's just like big Peter Brown fans.
Can't blame him, Ed. So, all right. So, anyways, let's wrap this sucker up. Next games, obviously against Vancouver. Tough game. Hopefully we can get a win there. It's on turf. It's going to be a large crowd. That is a large stadium that they section off for the Whitecap game. So they're going to obviously open that sucker up.
Mm-hmm.
Could be like a good 50. Could be a good 50, 60,000 in that stadium. I don't know how many it holds, but it's big. And then they come back home, and just like 3-4 days later on a Sunday at 5 p.m. They're playing FC Dallas, and then a few days after that, we're playing against Vancouver again here. So it's a really, really busy time. But exciting for us as fans. So we'll all be watching the Vancouver game on TV. But then I already got my tickets for the Vancouver game in at Chase. I almost said Lockhart, but that'll be fun.
In the same place, but
yeah,
same name.
And we'll definitely have a game day vlog for that game. Those have been doing well. Some people say we need to do it for every game. So, you're up for the you're up next for the FC Dallas game, maybe, and
I'm up for that,
and I'll do the Vancouver game. So, those videos will be coming at some point in the near future. So, stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Ed, is there anything going on tomorrow?
No, Peter. But unfortunately, Marco is still hurt. He got an operation from his shoulder, so we're probably not going to do tomorrow, but stay tuned. We're going to try to do some stuff in the near future.
We're talking about our Spanish channel. So those of you that are more comfortable in Spanish or are bilingual, whatever, go check out the Spanish channel and at Futbol Miami TV ES. So go subscribe to that as well. A new Weissman says he still calls it Lockhart.
And we have a T-shirt. Go to our
yeah, we do on our website. We have a T-shirt that says I still call it Lockhart. All right, everybody. That'll wrap this sucker up. Happy Easter. Go eat your Easter bunny. Wait, real quick question. You get a chocolate Easter bunny. How do you start eating the chocolate Easter bunny? Do you start with the ears? Do you start with like the eyes, getting those candy eyes? Do you start with a bushy tail? What part of the chocolate Easter bunny do you start with, Ed?
That's a good question. I think I start with the ears.
You got to start with the ears. You're like a commie, I guess, if you start with something else. Got to start with the ears.
What do you eat first? The ears, or what do you eat?
Everything.
Everything. She's the whole thing. Yeah. It's all about the chocolate.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody had a great Easter, and now tomorrow get back to work. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. A new Weissman eats the ears first. All right. See you later, everybody.